When author Tess Gerritsen moved to Maine 33 years ago, she never expected to stumble upon one of our state's best kept secrets. The author, who may be best known for her hit book series turned TV spinoff Rizzoli and Isles, has a new thriller hitting the shelves. It's called The Spy Coast, and Maine seemed like the perfect setting.
Maybe I didn't know what the story was, but I knew it was going to be something about the past, and that's why I had this, past scenes and the current scenes as well, because I wanted to find out what it was that had pulled her, that had driven her really from her old career.
This is the newest novel, so it just happens to be set on the Maine coast.
Yes.
Why Maine? Would it have worked anywhere else, or?
Well, it's because I live here. I've been here for 33 years, and I discovered a little funny secret about the mid-coast. It's maybe one of the worst-kept secrets in Maine.
I'm glad that you bring that up, because the viewers might be a little surprised to learn that this idea didn't just come to you by chance. No, your husband and you moved to Maine, he opened a medical practice, and then it didn't take long for him to piece two and two together, which was what?
Yeah, that a lot of his patients worked for the government, but they can't talk about what they did.
So kind of a juicy little secret that we're talking about here.
Yeah, it is, except that, as I said, it's a worst kept secret. Everybody knows it.
Exactly.
And they all have their theories about, how it happened.
Yeah. And so the book is set around a spy and all of her friends, we'll call them. Did you go back to these people that your husband had met to say, hey, I'm working on this book. This is what I'm thinking of putting in there. Like, can you read it over and see, like?
Even if I had, I wouldn't talk about it.
Yeah.
But I find that, of course, a lot of them are older now. And a lot of them have passed on, because I think this was a moment in time, maybe early 90s, when they started moving to Maine. I found out it was easier just to read memoirs, CIA memoirs, to find out what they did.
Were you fascinated by everything that you read about them?
I am. Well, what's fascinating to me is that they're so ordinary now. The two of them were my neighbors. They were the parents of my son's best friend in school. But they, as I found out later, I remember there was one conversation I had with the father of one of his friends, and we were laughing on the phone, and I just said, hey, you have a lot of secrets. You must be CIA. And it was like this long silence on the phone. And the man just said very calmly, how did you know? I thought, I'm sorry. Never mind. I didn't say that. But you just never know who you're... And then I found out that over a series of dinners I had, maybe over a couple of weeks, that every dinner I had been to, there was somebody at the table who'd worked for the agency.
Did your mind just explode?
Well, it was more like, how did I not know that the ordinary lady with the gray hair sitting next to me in the cafe used to, be stationed in Istanbul or something?
It's wild.
It is wild.
But great inspiration.
Yeah, it was great inspiration.
I don't want to give away a lot, because I know a lot of people are looking forward to this book a lot, but there are some themes about friendship and the whole, you get by with a little help from your friends, but then also how when we have a plan, life always seems to have another plan for us as well. Did you think about that at all when you were writing?
I was thinking more about the character who came to me, Maggie Bird, and it was, I knew that she was sad. I knew that she was, something tragic had happened, and I didn't know what it was. So that was the plan, is go back into her past and find out what it was that went wrong with her work in the agency. And it kind of unfolded because Maggie was telling me what had happened.
Yeah. Well, and I'm glad that you mentioned her, because it starts and ends with Maggie. Well, kind of starts with Diana, but Maggie's the second one, the second chapter. Did you find that you related to her at all when you were fleshing out the details to her character? Did you feel that you had something in common with Maggie?
Well, I think what I had in common was the fact that we're both older. And as I get older, I start to think, oh my gosh, looking back at my life and what I would have done differently, but also still feeling like I'm ready for an adventure. That's what I really wanted to get through in this book, was that no matter how old you are, you're always ready for an adventure. And maybe you were more than capable of handling it, possibly more capable than the younger person is.
We have more information about Tess's book on our website and mobile app for you.